Hello students, welcome to this session on qualitative research process. Qualitative research, it is more complex as it deals with human mind and human actions. It is a scientific method of observation to gather non-numerical data which focuses on meaning making, and it helps us in depth of understanding of human behavior. And we need to get over the idea that research means counting. Now, research studies a phenomenological study on psychological experiences of the victims of Bhopal gas tragedy at Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. An ethnographic study on socio-cultural beliefs of the people about antenatal, natal, and postnatal care of women in selected tribal communities of Rajasthan. So it helps in exploring a particular phenomenological study to trace out the real life situations and lived in experiences of people, and ethnographic studies focus on the culture of a group of people, and they facilitate understanding about the cultural behavior and practices which affect the health of the people. Ethnographic research is a labor intensive endeavor. Now, learning objectives. By the end of the lecture, the students will be able to get a basic understanding of qualitative research and identify its importance. Compare the basics of quantitative and qualitative research and familiarize with the steps of qualitative research process. Qualitative research, it is collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data by observing what people do and what they say. So it is a naturalistic approach in the natural setting where the focus is on understanding the meaning of an experience from an individual perspective. This is to gain insight into people's attitudes. What is their attitude? How do they behave? What are their value systems, concerns, motivations, aspirations, cultures, or lifestyles? So it is to get a more holistic sense of experience. Definition. So qualitative research is a systematic, subjective, and methodological approach which is used to describe life experiences and situations from the viewpoint of the person in situation. So it is a subjective, and it uses very different methods of collecting information. For example, in-depth interviews, observation, and use of focus groups. A qualitative study is defined as an inquiry process of understanding a social problem or a human problem, which is based on building a complex, holistic picture and formed with words, that is the data, reporting details view of informants and conducted in a natural setting. History now. Let's see how it all started. Qualitative research. Way back in 1945, the father of qualitative research, Paul Felix Lazarsfeld, had shown how psychology could provide a framework to interpret human behavior. He introduced the world to unstructured interviewing and group discussions, and he stressed the importance of answering the important why questions. Qualitative research makes up 18% of the global research. And his his student, Paul Felix student, was more famous because pupil Ernst Dicher, and he developed his ideas in a prosperous post-war America when there was mass production and there was abundance of consumer goods, and companies had started branding to differentiate themselves, and he uncovered the role of personality in purchasing decisions. So this was the history of qualitative research. Qualitative research is a social inquiry process of understanding that focuses on the way people interpret and make sense of their experiences and the world in which they live. So it dives a bit more deeper into the problems as compared to the quantitative research. Characteristics of qualitative research. It seeks to gain a better understanding of people's thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors, and the data what we get is in a narrative form. Multiple approaches are used to understand the concepts, in-depth interviews, focus group interviews, and observations. So it is concerned with the opinions, experiences, and feelings of individuals, and they give us the subjective data. The study is conducted in real life and day-to-day natural settings, and not in a controlled setting or a laboratory settings like in experimental studies. So we need a lot of time to collect the data directly from the participants in the research settings. Qualitative. Qualitative means words and quantitative means numbers. So qualitative research is used to study highly complex phenomena where there are number of variables are too high, and it answers straightforward questions. It captures crucial information, and it is more reliable and objective, and it has short and less well defined plans. It maps out the mental associations of the human mind. It takes care of the humane side of an issue. It reveals invisible motives and needs from the unconscious or subconscious mind. And elements evolve over the course of the project. So as the project goes on, we evolve, more elements are evolved. It adds flesh and blood to the social analysis. Now, what are the strengths of qualitative research? It is an in-depth analysis of the impact of the situation or the experience, and it gives a holistic view of the phenomena. And they use open-ended questions which reveal new phenomena or unanticipated phenomena. It encourages creativity and innovation, and it takes care of a diverse and representative cross section of the affected people from that phenomena, provides insights into intra household, that means within the household relations, and also on the difficult issues, for example domestic violence. It suggests possible relationships, causes, and the direction of the dynamic processes. And we can get data from the marginal groups, for example illegal migrants, the homeless, and also the child-headed households. So this was the strengths of the qualitative research. Purposes. So what are the purposes of qualitative research? Qualitative research tracks real unique events, and it explores culturally sensitive issues, especially related to the groups which are inaccessible. And it collects and explores an in-depth information that cannot be expressed quantitatively. It describes complex phenomena with rich descriptions from the participants. It facilitates better understanding of the phenomena, and one gains a new perspective, helps in building nursing theories from the personal stories of the participants to enrich understanding of the health experience. And it also guides nursing practice by systematic organization of the ideas from experienced persons from the participants. Quantitative research, deductive thinking, quantitative. So deductive means it is a reasoning or thinking from general to the specific, from general premises to a particular situation. And it is a top-down logic. From a theory, you take out the hypothesis, then you observe, and then finally confirmation. So this is what happens in a quantitative research. Qualitative research, it is inductive thinking. Inductive thinking means from specific observation to general conclusions. It is a bottom-up logic which draws general principles from the specific issues. The specific observations, formulation of patterns, then the hypothesis, and then finally building the theory. Why qualitative research? So why should we do qualitative research? The best device for collecting and analyzing qualitative information is only the human brain. Subjective experiences or meanings, they reside in words and languages. It helps us to understand the real social world, why people behave the way they do, how opinions and attitudes are formed, how people are affected by the events that go around them. So it takes place in a naturalistic settings. The groups are studied in natural settings. Phases. Now coming to the phases in qualitative research process, it is the same as in quantitative. Conceptual phase, design phase, empirical phase, analytical phase, and dissemination phase. So these are the phases in qualitative research process. Steps. So how do you carry out the qualitative research? What are the steps? 1. Identify research problem. 2. And also formulate the objectives. Review of relevant literature. Selecting the research site where the study will be conducted, and also research design. Establishing ethical considerations, as it is mandatory for all the research. Selecting the sample. Selecting data collection methods. Collecting the data and then organizing the data, analysis of the data and interpreting the findings. Finally, communicating the findings in the form of a report. So this was the steps in the qualitative research process. To start with, identify the research problem. The research problem selected should be a clear, specific, and achievable one. The researcher identifies the problem, which is poorly understood and very little is known about that problem. Begins with a broad research question and then it narrows down to this and defined later. It focuses on open-ended questions. For example, what is this? What is happening here? And why has it occurred? So more attention is given to the processes rather than on the outcomes. It explores reasons why people do things or why do they believe in something, and then formulating broad study objectives. Review of literature. ROL is a mandatory step in every research process. So it is qualitative research describes the phenomena which is based on the participant's viewpoint rather than on the prior information. So there's a different perspective from different people. Review of literature may become a source of bias according to some conducted during the conclusion stage toward the ending stage of the study, and some do it in the very beginning to get some guidance related to the problem. It helps in finding out, focusing, and also determining the need for the study. So this was review of literature. Select and gain entry into the research site. Researchers are not much aware about the population and also about the phenomena because there is little understanding about the phenomena and population, and the entry in research setting, it is an ongoing process. Prior permission is needed from the concerned authorities to conduct the research and contacts with the key people. These key people become later the key informants and they're an important source of information. Establishing good relationship, interpersonal relationship with these people, and also building rapport with key informants and also with study participants. Selecting the research design. In qualitative studies, research design evolves during the process of data collection, and it is known as an emergent design because it emerges during the process. Research design is selected based on the nature of the phenomena under study. The commonly used designs in qualitative research are phenomenological design, ethnography, grounded theory approach, historical research, action research, and case study. In phenomenological study, it is based one interested in the description of experiences of people, and in ethnography, the culture groups are studied, and in historical, it is about a history of a particular issue. Case study, specific problem associated with a particular case. Selecting a small sample. Non-random sampling techniques are used to select the sample. Participants are selected purposefully based on their knowledge of the experience with the phenomena because they were a part of that experience. They have lived that experience. The sample size is kept small. In-depth inquiries are conducted. It depends on the data saturation, time, study objectives, and also the resources. So 10 to 15 subjects are normally taken, but there is no defined set of rules. And if it is a single case, then it will be taken up in the case study, can be taken up. The depth and quality of data is more important than the quantity. And the methods used are quota sampling, purposive sampling, and snowball sampling. So selecting a small sample. Data collection. Qualitative data can be observed and recorded. The data in qualitative research studies are participants' thoughts, so that becomes the data, their thoughts, their views, their ideas, their perceptions. Interviews, which can be semi-structured, unstructured, in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, FGDs, and also participant observation. Audio and video recordings, simple observations, document analysis, collection of documented material in the form of letters, diaries, photographs, and also narrative data because they are narrating a story or a conversation. And data also can be in the form of a textual data or visual analysis. Now, selecting data collection methods. Interviews, focus groups, focus group discussions, observation, case studies, images, video recordings, audio recordings, surveys, and life histories. The most common is the first topmost row, interviews, focus group discussions, and observation. Interviewing. It is much less structured, rich, because you need rich and detailed answers, so it is less structured. It can be of two types, unstructured and semi-structured. Unstructured, the researcher will give a list of keywords or some central issues will be thrown. So like a conversation, and one needs to keep on recording. Semi-structured, there's a list of questions or some selected topics, and there has to be an interview guide, and then new questions may emerge out of the answers. So interviewer may be interviewed more than once. It needs to be planned very carefully. The role can be either as a silent observer or as a facilitator, and the relevant themes are discussed. So notes can be made, or it can be written, or it can be recorded, especially about the background information, the name, age, and the gender of the participant. Observation. So it can be participant observation. It's a part of the group. Regular observing and then listening is done. Interviewing informants time to time. Setting can be open or closed. Access can be openly or secretly. So it can be covert participation or overt participation. So a researcher can be a complete participant, participant as an observer, or observer as a participant, or as a complete observer. Establishing ethical considerations. So it is same as in the quantitative study. As the researcher is intimately related, the kind of relationship is very intimate. So every communication must be taken as a part of the whole phenomena. So obtaining written informed consent from the participants, keeping their information confidential, and maintaining anonymity. The dignity of all participants to be respected, minimizing the risks and maximizing the benefits, ensuring a fair distribution of risks and the benefits, respecting communities' values and their interests, and protecting them from the harm, and also avoiding errors in data collection and doing justice while doing data analysis. Data collection. So data collection, analysis, and interpretation, they all take place simultaneously in qualitative research studies. There are open-ended questions, and data is collected from the participants by talking directly to them or observing their behavior or examining documents in their natural settings. So data collection is the most crucial and also the time-consuming step. Data is recorded or documented either through tape records or through field notes, and one needs to have active listening skills. And participants' viewpoint is describes. So there has to be rapport building and establishing confidence, the main tasks to be done in the data collection. Because the methods Interviewing, whether it is interviewing or it is an observation, they both take a lot of time. So this was data collection. Organizing. So after you collect the data, it has to be organized into different categories on the basis of themes, patterns, or concepts. And the method used is coding. So coding organizes the data and identifies the patterns and commonalities between the data. Each category is assigned a word or a phrase or a number, and coding is just a means to organize the data. It should be started as soon as possible. It can be into subcategories, it can be question wise, interview code, and basic theme code. And for this, computer programs are also being used. So interpretations start developing during the coding process only. And so, there is one-to-one in-depth interviewing also. It is known as laddering. So it can be listing down the data, categorizing, comparing, and then laddering. So this was organization of the data into themes and codes. Data analysis. Data analysis, actually it begins with data collection. It is just examination of the words. As the word, it will be a long words. For example, there can be several thousand pages of notes. So data analysis is a challenging task. So putting all the related themes together into a logical sequential order. Preset the theme. There can be two types: preset themes or emergent themes which emerge during the course of the study. Participants can also help in making the themes. It can be with their consultation. Narrative analysis focuses on the speech, the content, the words, the grammar, and analysis grid is developed. Computer assisted qualitative analysis software is also used. It codes data quickly and then forms the themes. Participants can also validate the information, and data has to be of good quality. Interpretation of the findings. So findings are explained using the themes, the categories, and the connection between these categories. So interpreting the data means attaching significance to the analysis. And there is interactions between the factors. So a list of key points has to be developed. So it can be reported from multiple perspectives. So you have to think about the major lessons learned from the findings. So write down the meanings and present the findings. The quotes can be used from the transcripts. So interpreting the findings. Now communicating the findings. Qualitative reports, they are very rich as they have verbatim as it is passages directly from the participants. Explain the background and objectives of the research, and then what was the interview method being used. Elaborate the analysis on the basis of the transcripts and also the interpretation from the findings. Qualitative research finding, they serve as a good basis for the formulation of hypothesis and also development of tools. And these are tested later while using quantitative research. So it can be in the form of research thesis, article, or an oral research report to be presented at scientific presentation conferences. So this was the steps of the qualitative research process. Now, what skills do I need to conduct a qualitative research? Knowledge and skills about the research methodology, about the setting, about the nature of the issue being studied or the phenomena or the situation. One must be intelligent, energetic, empathetic, and interested in listening, because it has to be a long data collection methods, interviewing, and also in-depth interviews have to be taken, and then maybe observations also, focus group discussions also. So one should be interested in listening and have good active listening skills. Familiar with own biases. We all have our own biases, so we need to be familiar with our biases, assumptions, our values, and expectations. So what do we expect? We should be prepared to produce detailed, comprehensive, and lengthy reports, because it has to be data analysis, many pages of the detailed data, descriptive data. Advantages. So what are the advantages of qualitative research? It is easy to plan and implement, and data can be gathered on more content for the new ideas. So it is more flexible as compared to the quantitative research. To follow unexpected ideas during the research, it can explore processes effectively. Issues and subjects can be evaluated in detail, in depth. The smaller sample size saves costs. Interviews is not limited to some questions only, as it is unstructured and semi-structured. Data is based on human experiences and observations. Direction and framework can be revised as soon as fresh information emerges. So new thoughts and new insights can be given into thoughts. Disadvantages. So there are some disadvantages of qualitative research. Not statistically representative, the sample. Data rigidity is difficult to maintain and demonstrate. Findings and outcomes cannot be spread to a larger group of populations. Quantity of data makes interpretation and analysis more time consuming. The researcher influence can also have a negative effect on the participants. Replicating research becomes very difficult, and sometimes it is not accepted and understood in some of the scientific communities. It heavily depends on the skills of the researcher. The qualitative research is researcher oriented. And sometimes there can be some sampling issues, limited sample size, sampling bias, and also there can be Hawthorne effect, because people change their behavior, the participants and performance, when they are being observed. So this is all the limitations. Now, selective quantitative research design versus qualitative research design. So when there is little known about a phenomena, we do not know much about a phenomena, and to know more about it, to get a more holistic sense, a qualitative research study is selected. When the purpose of the research study is to gain an in-depth understanding of the overall phenomena. To learn about cultural patterns, we use ethnography, a research design of the qualitative study. To know about human experiences, lived human experiences, we use phenomenology method. For social issues, grounded theory. For stories, a specific case study. If knowledge exists, and then we choose a quantitative design. If there is less known about a phenomena, we go for qualitative research designs. Now, when to use qualitative methods? When variables cannot be quantified, when the paramount objective is only understanding, we only want to understand. When variables are best understood in their natural settings, when variables are studied over real time, and when studying intimate details of roles, groups, and processes, and we need to go for qualitative research designs. Now let's see the comparative study between qualitative and quantitative research. What are the differences between both of them? Qualitative, first column, middle attributes, and the third column is quantitative. So qualitative, the first attribute is philosophical perspective, multiple subjective realities in situation, and it is known as a soft science, qualitative. Now quantitative is a hard science. It is related to objective reality, and it can be viewed and measured. Number two, philosophy. The qualitative, it is a naturalistic, constructionism, and interactive processes. But quantitative, it is objectivism and positivist and variables related. Types of reasoning: inductive reasoning or thinking for qualitative, deductive reasoning or thinking in quantitative. Purpose. So what is the purpose of carrying out these studies? For qualitative, it is human experiences to find out, generating hypotheses and developing theories. In quantitative, it is just describing the variables, testing the relationships, and testing the theories. The role of the researcher. The researcher plays a personal involvement, participatory role, and ongoing role in quantitative. In quantitative, the researcher has a detached role, objective role. It is very controlled and a structured role. Tools. So what are the tools? Semi-structured methods, in-depth interviews, focus groups, and also observation. For quantitative, they are highly structured methods, questionnaires, and surveys are being used. Next is research design. The research design, it is an emergent design in qualitative research design. It emerges during the process. Flexible, more flexible, phenomenology, ethnography, grounded theory, and historical are some of the research designs in qualitative studies. For quantitative, the research design is very rigid, it is controlled, and examples could be descriptive, correlational, experimental, and quasi-experimental. Now coming to the sampling. Sampling, it is a very small sample in qualitative. Non-random sampling methods are used. Purposive sampling, snowball sampling, convenient sampling. For quantitative, it is a large sample and random and non-random sampling methods are used. Now coming to the data analysis. So how is the data is analyzed? Non-statistical because it is in the form of words and narratives, passages. For quantitative, it is numbers and statistical. Results. So the results and words are analyzed and meanings are found out. It provides description and a deeper understanding, deeper insight into the issues. For quantitative, it estimates outcomes of the intervention and it predicts the outcome variable. Generalization. So transferring knowledge from case analysis to similar cases. For quantitative, it can use inference to generalize from a sample to a defined population. Report. Writing report, interpretive reports, and they reflect researchers' meaning of the data collected. For quantitative, it is an objective report which is impersonal. So these were the differences between qualitative and quantitative research designs. So to sum up, the aim is a detailed description and the aim is to classify features, count them, construct statistical models in an attempt to explain what is observed. The researcher may only know roughly in advance what she is looking for. Researcher knows clearly in advance what she is looking for. The design emerges as the study unfolds in a qualitative study. All aspects of the study are very carefully designed from the beginning before the data is collected in quantitative studies. Researcher, researcher himself becomes the data gathering instrument. Researcher questionnaires or equipments to collect the numerical data. The data in the qualitative research designs is in the form of words, pictures, or objects, and data is numerical in nature in quantitative research. Subjective. Individuals' interpretation of the events is important, and it is objective in quantitative research designs. They seek measurement and analysis of the target concepts. Qualitative data is more rich. It is more time consuming, but it is not generalizable. Quantitative data is more efficient and you are able to test the hypothesis. Researcher tends to become subjectively immersed in the subject matter, but researcher tends to remain separated or a kind of detached from the subject matter. So the sum up of the differences. Oh, so what are the types of qualitative data that we will be getting or we get? Structured interview questionnaires, we get a lot of comments. Audio recordings, transcripts from semi-structured interviews, in-depth interviews, and focus group sessions or focus group discussions. Field notes made by the researcher, photographs, video recordings, diaries, press clippings, case study notes in case study design, observation notes, images, documents in the form of reports, meeting minutes, and emails. Limitations. So qualitative research has some limitations. For example, the biases, many biases, they can occur during study design, during data collection, and during data analysis. So data collection and analysis, it has to be logistic. There will be some logistical issues during both these processes. Qualitative research does not involve random sampling from the population to select the participants, and it is difficult to determine validity and reliability of the qualitative data, and there are issues of anonymity and confidentiality. It is more time consuming, the data collection and also the data analysis. It takes a lot of time to develop the trust with the participants, and researchers' presence also affects the participants' views. Now, some tips to ensure the qualitative rigor in the studies. Prolonged engagement. Multiple visits have to be paid, multiple interviews have to be conducted. So it has to be prolonged engagement. We need a lot of time to conduct these interviews and patience. Extensive and diverse sample. Multiple methods have to be used for collecting data, interviews, observations, and casual discussions. And it has to be clearly documented or it has to be tape recorded. Triangulation across the different sources from different perspectives. Diverse interviewers can be used. Peer debriefing can be done and multiple coders can be used. Respondent validation. That means the community reviews the reports. Uses of qualitative research in public health. To study these social issues, cultural factors, economic factors, and political factors which influence the health and their disease process, to capture the whole person in their life world, to explore how people and communities interpret health and disease, to explore unanticipated meanings and connections with the issues, to examine interactions between the stakeholders. Examples. So some of the examples of qualitative research: a phenomenological study on lived experiences of tsunami victims in selected villages of Tamil Nadu, an ethnographic study on blood donation beliefs so of women living in rural areas of district Ludhiana, Punjab, a historical research on the development of nursing in India, and action research on the practicability of Western nursing practice protocols in public and private Indian healthcare organizations, a case study on the availability and utilization of the emergency services in Civil Hospital, Ludhiana, Punjab. Conclusion. Qualitative research is one of the two major approaches to research. The roots of qualitative research lie in social and cultural anthropology, philosophy, psychology, history, and sociology. Qualitative research investigates the why and how of a phenomena, and this reveals the reasons behind people's actions. Qualitative research aims at gaining a deeper understanding of an event or an organization rather than a surface description of a large sample of a population. So it focuses on the depth rather than on the breadth. It is most commonly used to inform about new concepts, new theories, and new products. Thank you, students.